Hey, everyone. Well, it must be New Comic Book Day.
It is New Comic Book Day, and I was just DMing Gracie the cosplayer. Who we have a cosplay cover for Universal, which we're going to get to in a minute. This is a huge day. Usually we just kind of discuss Dynamite at the beginning of the day. We've got like a little bit more today. This is a huge day. There are 5 books today, and with a variety of covers and artists, and this is kind of like this is like the big bomb drop for the year. So I'm pretty excited.
Well, first shout out to Adrian and shout out to our buddy Dave. Both are here. The early birds.
The early birds are here.
So
early bird special. Pick a book. Rex will pay for it. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
Yeah, I can't say that because the comments would fill right
I'll
up.
pick this one, the Green Hornet book. But we should have AR, our buddy AR Comics here as well tonight. There he is.
What's up, guys?
What's going on, buddy?
How you doing?
This is not only a big New Comic Book Day for Dynamite. This is just a big New Comic Book Day. There's
huge New Comic Book
Day.
A
lot to unpack here today.
Hey, hold on a second.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Ron's here, which means he's still alive.
Sure.
That's good. Well,
did we teach him the thing where you put your thumb out and then cover it with your thumb?
Yeah, can you do that, Ron, so we know it's not your wife hijacking your account or something? So, Adrian says his 10-pack just got there, sorted through them. Now I'm going to have to hunt down the rest of Sacred Six. All right.
Secret Six is a very cool story.
And public service announcement from Dave. John, get the drink away from the comics.
Right?
Oh, and Dave says the UPS guy's coming soon with his two of his orders, EXP packages. So he'll be unpacking and buying at the same time. I like that. He's a guy who could chew gum and
Get me a
walk.
Batman slab to use as a coaster for my soda, please.
How dare you disrespect the Dark Knight in such a fashion?
Just the watered down version of the Shadow.
How many different pairs of glasses do you have, too? I just noticed that. It's color coordinated with your shirt.
Number 7.
It's style, Rex. It's style.
I'm telling you, dude. The guy has way too much free time and money, apparently. So tonight, John's buying all the books for everybody. Books on John. Yay!
My parents gave me the best advice they could. They looked at me and said, "We mean this from the bottom of our hearts.
Get out.
Never have children." And I did not.
You're a smart man. Smarter than me.
Well, when your parents tell you not to reproduce, okay, I got it. I understand.
Right. Thanks for the heads up.
Oh, they're expensive, my friend. Trust me. I'm still dealing with it now. Oh, believe you me. My daughter and her junker of a car.
I thought it was a respiratory condition. It was just my father going, every time he saw me, how much I cost him.
All right. So we have New Comic Book Day here. And I know John is chomping at the bit to do this. So go ahead.
And people I want to start doing this too. People who are joining us, first of all, we always appreciate that. But second of all, drop in the comments what you picked up today. I mean, it's fine for us to discuss it. It's time for it's fine for Alex to discuss it. But we want to know what you guys are reading too.
Yes.
What you picked
you're
up,
excited about.
or what you couldn't get.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? Like what maybe because we've talked about this a few weeks now. We talked about this with Robbie too. On Monday, there are retailers who are like, the books just didn't come.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
They're not here.
Wait, before you get to New Comic Book Day, hold on here. And I just noticed this. I swear this is not a setup. But we started doing our early bird specials, to kind of reward everybody that joins us, right as the show starts. And the first 10-minute early bird special, which will be $10, okay? You sitting down, John?
Go ahead.
It is actually the Green Hornet, number 4, black and white variant by Mark Waid. And it is suggested retail of $49.99, but it is our early bird special, first 10 minutes for $10 to anybody that is not named John Cole.
And I'll tell you right now why this is a great deal. I have one of these at home, and I'll tell you how I got it. I had to buy
your shirt during one of our shows.
No. I had to buy the black and white variant at a trade show, and then I had to bring that to Chicago to have Mark Waid sign it. It was a considerable amount of time and effort to get this done. You can grab this for $10, which I wish I would have had the opportunity to in like 2018 or whatever it
was. Dave, I'm sure we have an Alex Ross in here somewhere. We do.
Yeah, you do.
And we'll get to that later. Right now, we're throwing the Green Hornet up as our early bird special for $10 to torture John. Okay, so you'll just have to be patient. Once we're done torturing John. We'll get to the other books.
Just to be clear, mine was signed with a green metallic ink pen. You know why?
Why?
Because I brought one from Mark Queen because I wanted the book signed. When I handed it to him, he's like, "Wow, you're prepared." I'm like, "Yes, sir."
All right, so let's get to new comic book.
First book we're gonna do, and someone mentioned Sacred Six.
Sorry, have to interrupt you yet again.
No, that's.
It looks like Nico Little Dragon is jumping on the Green Hornet. Hey, Nico, thanks for joining us tonight, buddy. So, Nico Little Dragon. Okay, I'm sorry. Continue, please.
No, is this a best offer book or you just bought it?
No, this was a early bird special for $10.
Awesome.
So,
I'll tell you right now.
No best offer. You got it.
This is a great story. I really like the fact that, we had the black and white versions for this. And I particularly like the fact that they use the artist uses the mask from the serials and the radio show, not the more common mask from the 60s TV show
right.
and the movies. Also, the comic book strip has that sort of more of a full face mask.
Right.
And I got to tell you, it's really it's neat. It's really neat. Like what Wade tried to do in this story is he picked and chose all the sort of neat bits from the different era of Green Hornet, and he tried to put them in his run. And it's probably my.
You got to claim.
It's in my
yeah, we know.
It's in my favorite.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry, James. Actually, Nico Little Dragon claimed the Green Hornet first. Sorry about that, buddy. So
don't worry, though. We will be having Green Hornet each and every week on the show from here on out. No.
Out of your collection.
I know, right?
I like that. See, I like the way AR thinks. I like that one.
I told my wife in my will when I die, just give Nick all these books back. Here you go, man.
So please continue. I've interrupted you so many times.
No, that's okay. I'd much rather be interrupted for that, or if they are once there's something.
I would have loved to have gotten some of that pasta you had for lunch, but whatever.
However,
we'll get to that later.
I would say so would have I, but since I've never given you guys any pizza, I should shut the front door.
Yes. You have no place to speak, Mr. Barucci. None at all.
I saw him with a frozen box of Elios in the back.
You know what was cruel was that he'd make us pass the pizza through us. That was really just mean. I mean, that was mean.
I have not had that pizza since I was little.
That sounds like
an I grew up eating that pizza.
Dude,
yeah.
My mom used to buy that all the time. I don't know why I didn't really like it.
I used Elio's pizza as bread for like an Italian style sandwich at a pop-up we did at a bar in Philadelphia. And I don't think I've ever seen people love Elio's pizza that much. I'm like, who knew all you needed to add was roasted red peppers, mortadella, salami.
Apparently not Elio's.
Apparently not Elio's. They were super nice. They wound up seeing it on social media, and they sent us gift coupons to get more of it. And I'm like, I don't think you guys got the point. The reason I used your pizza as bread is, you know what I mean? I don't think you got it. Somebody mentioned Sacred Six.
Yes.
Breakout character from Sacred Six.
And I think there were other mentions too. Hold on, let me see here. Other books that came out. Let's see. Let me look. Dave picked up Nick's number one.
Nice.
And that's all I got. All right, never mind.
This was kind of the breakout.
No, Dave, character. We haven't put the big screen up. Sorry.
This was the breakout character from Sacred Six, I think. I feel pretty comfortable saying. It's sort of the character got traction. We have a bunch of different artists doing books. I'll tell you right now, go to our YouTube channel and watch Nick's a very kind of dapper dress Nick, by the way, this week. Talks everybody through everything. The covers, Lucio Prilla, blah, blah, blah. The one cover that really caught my eye, I shouldn't blah, blah, blah. It's a beautiful cover. The one cover that absolutely caught my eye is this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle homage cover. This thing is super cool. And we have a few of these that...
I'm a big fan of those.
Literally, before we went on the air, I was in Nick's office pestering him about more homage covers.
Dave says 2 words, Perillo cover.
Wait, you know what? I don't...
What were you going to say, Eric?
I said I saw those today at my shop. the homage covers for TMNT. They are incredible.
Hey, Amy, do you still have that list?
List.
The Dynamite comics this week?
Next book we have this week is Kiss number 3. And we'll be probably holding up some more of these throughout the show or whatever.
Oh, yes.
Platinum Session, this is just a lot of fun. This is very much a throwback to like the 70s King of the Nighttime
so
World
cover
line.
A is Perilla
Cover A
for
is
Nick's
Pearl.
number 1. Actually, Lucio Perilla did quite a few of the covers for variant covers for Dynamite this week. Vampy 25, Nick's number 1. Let's see, Dynamite Lives number 5. He did the A cover. Sonya Versal number 9. He did the A cover.
We're gonna need a secondary wrap for. Here we go. Speaking of Lucio Perillo. Now, if
Dave is correcting me. It's Parillo. Sorry, Dave. Hey, Stevie B in the house. Elios, we used to level our crooked kitchen table.
I believe it. I absolutely believe it.
I mean, some of these are too cool.
Yeah, I love that cover. I didn't see that one today. I actually saw a lot of the homages, and I know we talked last week. My shop doesn't get a lot of Dynamite unless if you order it, but they had a ton of those, like all the different ones.
Now, I know that this is supposed to be the finale of the whole Dynamite Lives things.
Mm-hmm.
But for people who follow me on social media, you know that finale is only until I can nag Nick into please doing more books. If you like Dynamite, absolutely stay tuned. This is very cool. This is our buddy Dave Acosta, who's done a bunch of really cool stuff for Dynamite. I like all the covers, but I particularly like this cover. This one, the Flaming Green Sword.
Because the Flaming Green Sword always worked.
Well, it's
on
just
so many levels.
Well, you know what it is? These books all tend to have the same color palette, right?
Right.
They're gray, they're black, they're white, they're red. You've got Red Sonja, you've got Vampirella, you've got a whole bunch of these other characters. It's nice to have a pop of something. If it was a blue sword or green sword, I mean, I'm partial to green, but also this week, James Bond, and we have a Franco Villa cover.
Now, if you didn't pronounce that right, Dave's gonna get on here.
Usually it's Amy who comes running out when I mispronounce his name. What are you doing? I'm getting scolded. But now this week, Sonya Versal number 9, and like Vampyverse, this is sort of Dynamite's. This is Dynamite's energy on this thing now, where we have multiple Batman, multiple Spider-Man. Everybody loves it.
Right.
Nobody is complaining that, I don't want to see a steampunk Batman or whatever. Sonya Versal. This one I particularly like. This isn't Red Sonja. This is Blue Sonja. It's just a great cover. Trying to hold on a second real quick. We've got a Joseph Michael Linzer cover. We've got the Perillo cover. Or how does he want me to say it again?
Perillo.
Oh,
Perillo.
Hey, that's a lot for me, man.
Yeah, it's a lot, Dave. You're putting undue pressure on John. He's starting
Very
to panic.
cool Jay Lee cover.
Jay Lee's artwork is awesome.
It is.
We've been talking a lot about Jay Lee lately, and not that his work was ever, lacking or in question, but he really seems to be hitting the sweet spot now with the way he positions the characters on the cover or whatever.
Right.
He has this unique energy he puts in there. It is very, very, very sort of unique. That's the best word I can use for it, really. We have this cover with Hell Sonja, which you are going. Hell Sonja is my favorite character from Sonya Versal. I don't think it's a surprise. Hell Sonja. I don't want to say she's the breakout character because there are several versions of Sonja that people really dig. Hell Sonja is probably the first book the first one of those variants that's going to get a book.
Right.
And it's partly because of this person right here. Her tremendous cosplay. This is Gracie the cosplayer. You can find her on social media.
Also the one that bakes the cakes.
Also, Gracie is an amazing cake baker and decorator. Go to her Instagram, go to her Twitter, just check. This is the cover I particularly got this week because Gracie and I have been Twitter mutuals for years. We also have this as a Virgin cover. When you see her, if you haven't seen her Hell Sonja cosplay, wait until you go find it, because trust me.
All right, while you're doing that, we're going to go to our next early bird special, which is actually a best offer takes it. So best offer at the end of the night. And because Dave asked for it, Justice Inc. #2 rare virgin cover gold elite edition signed by Alex Ross. So this originally had a suggested retail of $300. So we're going to do best offer takes it at the end of the night, and we're going to start the offers at $20. So the best offer on this book at $7.55 tonight, we'll take the book, and the offer started at $20. So Dave, you asked for Alex Ross, you got Alex Ross, my friend.
And Dave wants to see Lucio. I have trouble saying Perillo, man. Sure, okay, Dave, whatever you want. Perillo. See, that's what I said. Nick says it's Perillo.
No, he said Perillo.
Anyway, here's his Vampirella 25 cover. This has been a couple of years in the making. This is the wedding issue with Dracula. Here is another super cool Vampirella #50. This is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Homage cover. And this one is done with the different versions of her, different variants of her from the Vampirverse. And I got to tell you, that's there's a lot this week and we're going to move on to the rest of the new comic in a minute. This is like the big week. This is a time for you. This is a great jumping on point, right? A lot of these books are just kind of kicking off. Even the ones that are ending, like Dynamite. Well, of course, I'm not going to throw a spoiler alert. Well, maybe it's a little bit of spoiler alert.
We had a little spoiler tag up there. You might as well throw the spoiler out there.
You have not seen the absolute last of the Dynamite universe. Just like with Marvel Zombies, just like with DCeased, the popularity of these things makes it impossible to sort of put them in the toy chest and shut the door, close it.
Right.
At some point, you'll see versions of these characters again, stories set in that universe type of thing. If not, I'll be here more often pestering Nick in his office.
Getting it done.
I don't think you can be here any more often.
I have an air mattress.
Hey, Neil, what's going on, buddy?
I have an air mattress. I'm not afraid to inflate it and use it.
Well, good. You can keep guard, too. And keep
That
Nick
being
company at night.
said, let's ask Alec what he sort of vibed on this week.
Go, Alec.
All right. Well, all right. Excuse me, though, because I know I was talking to you yesterday, Rex, about my allergies, but my allergies today are they're brutal.
You had a bad day yesterday.
Oh, yeah. It was a bad day, then allergies, and today they're even worse. It's what it is. But so, what John was talking about, huge week for comics, besides Dynamite, Image, Boom had a couple new ones. Venom 1 came out from Marvel. But on the topic of Venom, my shop had this. I had to pick it up. I finally got another copy in my possession. I was so sad when I sold my last one, but it was a low grade. So this is probably more of a 6.5. My other one was probably around a 4. So I saw it and immediately it was like, I need it. I need it back in my collection.
So you sold one and now you bought one.
I was really upset when I sold the first one, but it was one of those deals. Like, I didn't spend a lot of money on it. I bought it before everything popped off. It had water damage. It really wasn't in that good a condition. And what I got offered, there was no reason. There was no way to turn that down.
So, Ron, I got you down, buddy. So Ron has made the first offer on the Justice Inc. signed by Alex Ross at 25. So I got you down. Neil says, again, thank you for joining us, Neil. But it sounds like he had a pretty rough day. Found out a good friend passed away. So I'm sorry to hear that, my friend.
No,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's always a tough thing. When that happens. But all right, so what do we want to do next, guys?
Whew.
Do we have anything in the chat? Do we have anything that anybody talked that they picked up a new comic book day this week?
Let us know. Did anybody who's watching right now post in the chat? Let us know. Was there anything interesting that you picked up? Something that you picked up on your pull list that that you're thrilled about? Like AR's thrilled about picking up the Spider-Man or the Venom rather. So yeah, let us know. We always want to hear from you guys. We always want to hear what great issues you may have picked up. So just to throw it out there, Dynamite 10-pack reader set. We have it on every show. I think a lot of our viewers have jumped on it. It's a great way to get started. Great way to introduce yourself to new Dynamite titles. So essentially, if you're a new viewer with us, it's 10 random Dynamite titles, and they will have a suggested retail cover price of $3.99 or higher. And so essentially a suggested retail of $40. We have it for $5. We'll have it available all night. If you're watching this after it's live, and just to explain to everybody, because I know sometimes after the show, after the live stream, we have a lot of people that watch it. Anything that we have here tonight that is a buy it now offer, if it is still available, we will honor those prices, even if you catch us after the shows, after the live stream and you're watching it. However, obviously the best offer takes it of the night is not something we can offer because that's something that we do in
usually
real time.
There's one. I mean, it's
real time.
It's
obviously.
real time.
Exactly. So, however, the Dynamite 10-pack reader set, we do it every week for every show.
Every show.
We think it's a great bargain. I guarantee it. $5 for $40 worth of books. We're not making a dime.
One of the
if anything, we're probably losing money.
One of the people in my comic book Facebook group said, "This is a great way to find out what you haven't shut up about for 7 days."
Yeah, right. An affordable price. Now those people they can't say no. Well, it's too expensive. They can't say that.
I can't find another.
Watch my show. I got it for $5.
It's really funny. I've had a couple people in sort of like the comics chat room community, kind of refer to me as, like the lone man on the wall for Dynamite or whatever. While I appreciate the notoriety, I really don't want to be the lone man on the Dynamite wall. I want everybody talking about these books.
Yeah, because then you have people to talk to.
Well, no, I mean, they're certainly there, but not as many as I would like. Like, I have a little
keep
Dynamite.
Talking to me and Nick, and we just kind of ignore
I know.
you.
I have a little Dynamite group that I get together with in Chicago.
We don't ignore them. We just don't pay attention to them.
That's the same thing, Nick.
It's a zero sum.
So Stevie B's got to go. He and I communicated earlier in the week, so I know that I think he has something he has to go out with his wife.
I did that today.
So
too.
it makes him smarter than Ron.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, Ron. But I got your offer on the Alex Ross at $30. So Stevie B is now the high offer on the Justice League signed by Alex Ross at $30. And T-Pain in the house. What's going on, buddy? Thanks for joining us tonight.
Wait, that sign?
Yeah.
Alex is not doing shows. He's hardly signing. So this may be one of the last signed books.
So apparently Nick did not realize that when we emailed him the list that it was signed by Alex Ross. He apparently thought it was just the variant virgin cover, even though it is clearly printed on my sheet, which I write, Justice Inc. #2 Rare Virgin Cover Gold Elite Edition Signature by Alex Ross.
See, I know it says Gold Elite Signature Series, but seeing how he signed it by Doc Savage, I tend to think this is like the Bronze Signature Series.
Call it whatever you will. Nick, eat some animal protein, please. Okay. That's how this happens because you keep eating all those veggie sandwiches.
The garnish on a sandwich, man. Oof.
I'm telling you, he's getting loopy. He doesn't have enough animal protein. So, what do we got? What should we do?
Well, I'll tell you what we should do.
I know you're thinking because I can see smoke coming up from the top of your head.
I grabbed one of these a little while back, and I cannot. It's like my favorite thing in my collection right now.
And when he says grabbed, he means literally. He grabbed it and ran out the door.
Where am I running to the bakery? Come on! I ran to the door, and then an hour later, I made it.
Oh gosh.
Marvel did these great sort of variants for Alien leading up to Alien #1. We've talked about Ken Hazer before. We've talked about his style. We've talked about how he's done blank variants, how he's done monochrome variants. We've had everything here. And if I had to pick one, and this is going to seem a little weird because everybody who watches the show knows me, it's not a Dynamite character or whatever. Maybe the coolest thing I've seen Ken do is on a black blank variant, he takes a silver ink pen, and the use of negative space here, it is too cool. This might be, just the coolest book we have here.
So, real quick, Ron has upped his offer on the Justice Inc. signed by Alex Ross to $35. So Ron is in the lead on that one. And the Alien #1 black blank variant, which is rare that you have a black blank variant, which is probably why I had to do it in silver.
Monday we had one where it was like a gray color.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
it was a weird. It was a very weird. It was a Batman, and Ken does. Those are your two covers that we've really seen Ken's use of negative space. One was that book on Monday, where it's all the Batmans are all black, and then the background is kind of gray, and this one where the alien is sort of. I mean, he's there, but the use of negative space, particularly on a black variant, this thing has to be seen. Like, the picture doesn't necessarily do it justice.
So, Alien #1, black variant, black blank variant, signed and remarked by Ken Hazer, and we have one tonight for $89.99. So, anybody that wants that, it is available for you to claim.
Awesome.
And oh my gosh, looks like we got to go to our first break.
Already,
I know, right? Time flies when you have
Well,
fun.
on New Comic Book Day, it's hard because we've got when we come back, viewer mail will take. Al, like I said, I'm curious about, has he seen the Eternals yet?
Oh yeah.
You know what? Let's talk about that when we come back.
We get back to the break.
So stay with us. We'll be back in a few minutes.
There's something for every imagination at your local comic shop. Visit comicshoplocator.com to find a store near you.
This is all God.
And we're back. You got me, John, and AR here.
What's up?
So Lee Bizzle has joined us. Hey, Lee. And he wants to know if we've got any Aaron Rodgers anti-vax comments.
Not yet, but we're working on it.
I got to tell you, I've been a huge Aaron Rodgers fan for most of his career, especially during that period with the Brett Favre thing. And what's so funny is that I've never seen somebody star fall so quick. So even though State Farm,
they pulled his commercial off the air immediately.
Like State Farm is sticking with him. Like he lost one endorsement deal. I forget. It was some sort of health center, I guess, somewhere in the Wisconsin area. And State Farm put out a press release that they were sticking with him and so on and so forth. But then I read another article the other day that on Sundays, usually the State Farm commercials, 25% of them, have Aaron Rodgers in them. And this last Sunday, and that had dropped to like below 1.5% or something crazy like that. I'm just like, and then there's another story that he was upset because he was surprised at everybody's reaction. It's like, dude, we love you. You're a great quarterback. Okay, you are definitely in there to be the GOAT. I mean, there was talk about bringing him to Philadelphia. I think the Russell Wilson thing is really gaining some traction. That would be phenomenal.
I'm seeing that too.
Yeah, but I mean, Aaron, seriously, dude, you're surprised. I think sometimes Aaron has been living in this. I totally supported him. He was unhappy in Green Bay. He wanted out. When they drafted what's his face, the kid who obviously had a very poor showing.
Oh yeah.
That obviously was an insult to him. But this time around, it's like, come on, Aaron, really, dude? You lied. You flat out lied, and to think that he could get away with it. I don't care, what side of the vaccine debate you're on. My problem with Aaron was you flat out just lied. If you weren't vaccinated, say you weren't vaccinated. Make your point. You're certainly entitled to that. But he lied and thought, I'm Aaron Rodgers. I can smooth this over. Okay. Guess what, Aaron? Not so much.
That's what I was thinking too. He just felt that he could probably get away with it.
Yeah, he definitely thought that.
Here's the deal. When I was a kid, my dad was like a cater.
Had they invented football back then?
Princeton and Rutgers put on a hell of a game. I was in the tailgate as a little kid. My dad would do tailgates. He had a lunch wagon. He would take old school lunch
When he
wagon.
was a kid, Rodney Dangerfield back to school.
Yeah.
Our football
Gosh.
was tough. After they sacked the quarterback, they went after the whole family.
They went after the whole family. Oh, I love that movie.
And that was our bad Nick joke moment for the show.
No, I love that movie, man.
I love the movie. I'm talking about Nick repeating the joke.
Oh, no.
Ron, don't send him any more jokes, buddy. He just mangles them.
My dad would not wear so much as like a Phillies ball cap because he didn't want to risk offending like Mets fans.
Yep.
Pirates fans said he might lose business.
So Mets fans are always so depressed that you can't
know what I mean? He wouldn't wear a Devils jersey because, Flyers fans and Rangers fans, as he would say, all these people pay for catering, right?
Yep.
All these people buy food.
Yep.
So everything he had was super kind of like, no name, no color.
Generic.
Like this shirt says Myrtle Beach, right? He wouldn't put on Myrtle Beach. He wouldn't put on a Myrtle Beach shirt because he wouldn't want the Hilton Head people to not hire him. You know what I mean? And the truth is, his mindset was right. I understand. I don't care how you feel about about COVID or the vaccine. I don't care about that at all. What I care about is it's really bad business. If I had like an 8-figure deal, and all I have to do is show up and shut up, there's literally no reason for me to take medical advice from Joe Rogan.
Oh my God, that too.
Oh, I know.
I mean, you just look, dude, you're making so much money. So much money. Just
Why would you even bring up Joe Rogan in the conversation? That to me is what's crazy.
I know.
I mean, that guy literally had one TV role, then somehow got involved in MMA. I mean, who is he really? I mean, who is this guy?
He's got an odd story behind him. So
I have no doubt.
You know what? Anytime you start going to Tractor Supply to get your COVID medicine, it's time to keep that to yourself. And I don't care what you do. Keep it to yourself, make your money, and get off get off the hot mic.
But don't get me wrong. If there's a real possibility that Aaron Rodgers could come to the Philadelphia Eagles, I am 110% supporting.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
because I still want to win games. I mean, I am.
Somebody said the story on Red Zone or whatever it was about Rogers lied, and something like 13 different players on the team have wives expecting or newborn kids at home. And they're rolling around with this guy, and this guy's like, I got it covered. And, it's a big deal. I mean, people are always willing to let stuff slide with athletes or whatever. I got to tell you, I don't, I don't see this one working out that well for him.
Well, I'll say this in a more selfish football fashion, in that you have to be, as a Packers fan, you have to be angry because I think they had a real chance this season, okay, to go all the way, and now you're in a real interesting predicament. I mean, you've lost the game. Nobody knows when he's coming back. So from that perspective, that's not cool. But that thing you mentioned about the pregnant women and stuff, that's important too.
Well, it wasn't Red Zone. I don't know if it was Bleacher Report. It was like one of those services, right? And it's like, to be clear, it was like an opinion piece or an editorial, right? But they're just saying, like a very quick check on Facebook of like the Packers team, not counting the teams he played against, but just the guys that he rolls with every week for half the year or more. There's 13 of them that have, like 3/4 of them have kids in general, but 13 of them have expecting wives or just having given, had the baby come wife. And you know what I mean? That from the very beginning, they've been screaming like, look, old people, kids, expecting women, these are people kind of like in that, that hot zone of, we really don't want these people getting COVID because it's really, really bad.
All right. So Dave is not a football fan and usually gets a little bit annoyed when we drift off onto this tangent.
I do too. Rex, stop it.
You're the one talking. So anyway, all right. So as a reward to Dave being patient, okay, hopefully you didn't go out and get that cup of coffee because your coffee breaks seem to be really, really long, Dave. We have the Owl number 2 high-end Alex Ross Virgin Art Ultra Limited Edition cover. Suggested retail of $100, and that is going to be one of our perfect 10 reads at $10 for the night. So there you go, Ron. Okay, threw one out there for you, buddy. I know you were looking for Alex Ross. I know you like Virgin covers, non-trade dress covers. $100 book for $10 just for Ron or whomever wants to claim it first. And if Ron has gone off because he was bored by our football talk and went to get a cup of coffee, I don't know where he goes, Columbia to get the coffee. He's gone for a long time. Somebody else may pick up this $10 book.
We should talk about this. If we're talking about Alex Ross.
See, Dave's like, did I say next week? Maybe we'll get the comics next month. I just got to one for you, buddy. $10.
For you.
$10. Okay, if he doesn't claim this, we're going to talk more football.
Fed Rex, it's got to step up, man, when he positively has to have his comics overnight.
So, but Ron, I can see, is definitely a football fan. He's pretty PO'd at Aaron Rodgers. You know what, Ron? You should probably get your wife to go out there to Wisconsin, okay, and tase him. Okay, tase the guy.
I mean,
he's getting lit up pretty good on ESPN. So I
all of a sudden we're watching ESPN and Ron's wife runs out of the crowd and tases Aaron Rodgers. That would be outstanding, though. I mean, that would be so funny. I would be laughing. I would really be laughing.
This might be the coolest thing we have, and I'm going to jump the gun a little bit.
Go
but
ahead.
Dave is sitting here, sitting through all this football talk. I feel bad for him. One of my all-time favorite things
is the Owl, because Dave says he doesn't know who the Owl is.
The Owl is a great character. The Owl, I hate to use this analogy, but
he's going to do it anyway.
Well, I do, because I kind of bag on the guy. But the Owl is sort of derivative of Batman. I mean, there's no other way to put it. You know what I mean? Thankfully, he's taken into a different direction. Of course, Alex Ross takes everything into a different direction. But
his
JT
stuff is so
Kroll
right.
sort of decides, okay, fine, the conceit is there that this is Batman. Let's do something much cooler with him, which is exactly what they did with Night Owl and Watchmen. On the surface, It's Batman, right? But then the writer, Alan Moore, but even I'm trying to remember who did the Night Owl book for DC when they did Beyond Watchmen. They moved beyond the derivation, beyond the conceit, and they took the character in a really cool place.
So Adrian is in on the Owl. All right, Adrian, let me find it again. So I can, okay, I got you down, Adrian. So Adrian has claimed it. All right, cool. All right, I'm sorry. Continue, please.
I have a question now. Was this a claim book or was this?
No, this is straight up $10.
Okay.
It is a buy it now claim.
This-
And then T-Pain is asking if that's Mickey Mouse on the bottom row, and it is.
It is Mickey Mouse. on
So
the bottom
we can
row.
definitely go to that one next.
Some
Let's
Ken
see.
Hazer.
We talked about Ken Hazer and how he can literally do
Oh my
anything.
gosh.
I'm going to put these two things side by
Oh
side.
no, he's not claiming it. Sorry, Adrian. I thought you were. My bad.
I'm going
All
to
right, I
put these two
crushed you.
things side by side. Here's Mickey, and here's like a chest burster from Alien. The same artist did these books. That's the range of
That's
the
cool.
talent that Ken Hazer has.
I mean, it's always amazing to me how he can go from one just one style to the other.
And here we talked about, the gray variant, the black variant. This is essentially a red blank variant. Flash 750. Again, Ken decides to jump in there with his metallic ink pen,
Right.
and it looks like a million times better. There's very little this guy can't do when,
All right. So T-Pain claims the Mickey Mouse. You
Cool.
got it, buddy. Mickey Mouse #1 is yours. So I'm always amazed
You know
by
what?
his work.
If Mickey Mouse, didn't we have something else go too? What else went?
Nico Little Dragon took the Green Hornet.
Yeah.
And
That's my burner account.
we are still the Justice Inc. is a best offer book, so we'll leave that out.
Okay, so that's up.
Yep.
This is a book.
62 lefty station, buddy.
What's up?
This is a book because we talked about Alex Ross.
Yes.
This is like a couple things coming together. I'm a big mark for the Invaders. I always like the Invaders. My favorite Captain America stories are the one in World War II in comics. I always to me, that's Cap's sweet spot. You know what I mean? It seems like he's always sort of trying to find a gear
Right.
in the modern world. Storytelling is pretty straightforward in World War II. You know what him and Bucky are up to. The Invaders we have, and this is maybe the best collab that Dynamite did. This is Dynamite and Marvel doing the Invaders. It's an Alex Ross cover that John Romita Sr. signed.
Wow, that's that's
a gorgeous cover.
Amazing the realism out Alex Ross.
Silver signature on there. I don't know if we have. This is almost going to be like if this was in the vault. This would be in that vault that Tom Cruise breaks into, and like Mission Impossible. I mean, there's not too much more rare than a Dynamite Marvel collab that's autographed by John Romita Sr. and the cover is a Virgin Alex Ross cover.
So Invaders Now #1, and it is the DF variant cover signed by John Romita Sr. And we have it for $499.99. 20%. This is one of our payment plan books. 20% down, and the rest within 60 days, and you can take it. And shout out to 62 Lefty Blue. What's going on, buddy?
And I'll tell you right now, this is about as Alex Ross as it gets.
Yeah, I know.
that is just
You know what I mean? The cover that he has here, if you look at it, he's got the upper half of the cover is the Invaders from the 1940s. And the lower half of that cover is, I think this was done maybe about 10 years ago.
Right.
So you have the characters of the Invaders as they appeared, and we'll call it 2010, 2012, something like that. And it is literally breathtaking, this cover. I can't say enough about it. If someone's an Alex Ross fan, if you have the means, if you're looking for something really unique, John Romita Sr. isn't signing stuff anymore.
Yeah,
so,
and he was really not signing very much before the pandemic.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point, but there's not a lot. The signatures will only go up in value. Like a year or two from now, this book will be significantly more expensive.
Right.
If you have the means and this is something you want, get it now. Like Rex said, payment plan is possible, 20% down. You have the rest of the year to get the money or whatever.
60 days.
60 days.
Yeah, so pretty much
basically the rest of the year. That's
Actually, a little bit beyond now.
yeah. I mean that's for people who are saying, "Oh, it's really hard. I watch 100 claim shows and I can never snag something really cool." This is about as cool as it gets.
Yeah. Legendary creator,
Legendary
plus,
creator,
plus a legendary cover by someone
It's
who's
a
going.
Virgin DF variant for the Invaders. It's dynamic
So-
Marvel collab. Just
So Dave said he grew up on the Invaders comics in the 70s. He says, wait 4 years and we'll get the Invaders animated series on Disney Plus.
you know what? I'd be right there, especially if they did it in a little bit of like sepia tone.
Right.
You know what I mean? Gave it that World War II look. Maybe did it in black and white or something. I would be absolutely there for that.
Let me ask you, AR, have you seen Dune yet or no? Not yet.
Not Dune. I've actually heard a lot of negative reviews on it. Other than what you said, some of my friends did see it. And they weren't that big of fans of it.
You see, the problem is everybody's comparing it to the movie in the 80s, and I don't necessarily think that that's a fair comparison. So, as someone who read the books, I like what they did. There were some creative changes they made that I was not okay with, but overall, I see this having legs because the first movie was really, they did their best and I enjoyed it, but they tried to fit too much into a compressed period of time. It really is a book that has to be a 2-movie kind of deal. And they also took some creative license with stuff that wasn't in the book. So I kind of, the one in the middle, there was that TV miniseries. I didn't like that one. That was.
Oh, was that like Sci-Fi Channel in the 90s or something?
Man, it was brutally bad. It was just, I've heard other people enjoyed it, but I thought it was brutal. And 62 Lefty is a fan. So
I only heard a little bit. Were we talking about the David Hasselhoff, Nick Fury? Because I hear it's big in Germany.
Oh, but
everything Hasselhoff does is big in Germany. You kidding me?
I like that guy.
He had a music career in Germany. I don't know how that worked. I mean, we the reputation of Germans is they're so smart and they're all engineers, but this Hasselhoff thing really just kind of changes everything.
Everybody has a weakness for something. Everybody has a sort of weakness for something.
So 62 Lefty is in there, and I agree. The Lynch one did have too many chefs in the kitchen, so to speak.
Yeah.
They tried to make it work. I mean, if you read the Frank Herbert Dune books, you see that it was not an easy undertaking to begin with. There's so many levels of complexity. There's so many kind of thoughts that go through, and the Lynch movie tried to deal with that with like a voiceover type thing. And I think it lost people. It really did. There was just, so what I really appreciated about the new Dune movie was you didn't really have that. He eliminated that part and still tried to tell the same story. And I give him all the credit in the world. I mean, what I was upset about was, yes, the internal dialogue. That's exactly right. The dinner scene, wasn't really, done. It's just so hard. There was so much material in that novel that it's really hard to kind of make it transfer onto the screen.
He's trying to show you a universe 8,000 years in the future. And you don't even have, the average person doesn't even have vocabulary to put into terms things from 8,000 years ago. Tools that people use that we don't even have names for anymore.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? Places on the map, bodies of water. I don't know what they called that stuff in 6000 BC or whatever it is.
So to answer Dave, and I did see your question earlier, Ron, there is a statue tonight, and we'll get to it after the next break. When we come back, we'll do the statue next. But, the thing about it with Dune was, this new movie, they didn't really talk about the still suits very much, which to me is one of the central aspects of the entire story, is that you're on this desert planet. There's absolutely no water. How do these Fremen survive? And they invented these still suits, which recapture or reclaims all of the body's moisture, from the moisture in your breath to obviously the unpleasant aspects of it.
They take all that out and I'd be fine.
No, because the still suit is central. It's a central core part of the story. That's how the Fremen survive on Dune.
And did you say that wasn't in there?
What's that?
Did
No,
you say
they
that-
wore it, but they
Oh.
never talked about it. You know, what is it still?
Oh.
Why it's such a central piece? Because
What,
you know, you get
HBO
caught
version?
Yeah.
They mentioned it.
not
They
in
said-
any kind of detail. Like how does it run? You know, how does the still
Well, they
suit-
said. Well, the guy said the pumping action of your body runs it.
Well, no, specifically it is the
He said
walking
no.
that pumps it. There are pumps in the boots which create the pumping effect, which makes it operate.
You know, it's
You know?
difficult to do a show when someone's a fanatic about a particular property. So maybe you could lock those feelings down so we can continue.
The man who asked for a Green Hornet daily is telling me, okay? Are you kidding?
Well, see, the problem with the Dune on HBO is this: it's too boring for a casual fan, and it's not in detail enough for real fans of the property. It's sort of neither fish nor fowl.
Well, you always have that problem with anything, you know, whether it be, well, you know, I mean, we'll talk about Eternals next because that's
Oh,
getting beat
we
up
have
like,
to?
yes, we do,
all right.
because I said so.
Fair enough.
You know, it's, let's see, it uses everything, moisture, excretion, and blood. That's exactly right. You know, and another thing is when you die, okay, the Fremen claim your water because water is the most precious commodity on that planet.
Wadid knew how to set the thing right up, though. He set it up like in Fremen style. Remember?
Yes,
when
that was a very key point.
that was
because
a cool
he's
point that
the
he sort of
you know, he's the promised, you know, Messiah,
the
if you
sacred
will.
one.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The
The chosen
The
one,
chosen
or
one,
you know,
that's
whatever term you want to
every
use.
one of these stories says chosen one. Film Log did a thing years and years ago, about who your favorite sci-fi grandmaster is, and I'll tell you what kind of person you are. And they had a list of all the sci-fi grandmasters. One of the sci-fi grandmasters, they were like, "You're pretty simple folk. You should probably be reading comic books." And that was Robert Heinlein, who's my favorite my science fiction writer.
Nope, not
His
mine.
stuff is
I
very.
I loved his stuff.
His
but
stuff
no,
is
not
very
my favorite.
simplistic. Heinlein wrote Starship Troopers,
Yep.
Space Cadet. He's almost the exact opposite of Frank Herbert in that he changes nothing about real life. Frank Herbert's trying to put together a universe of life 8,000 years in the future. If Robert Heinlein was alive today, the stories would involve around stopping at like a food truck.
Right.
Or, you know what I mean, run into he basically saw life as it never changes. It just moves through time.
So while we're on movies, let's segue into this one. All right, because this is the one and only Jim Lee signed book that we have tonight. And we generally don't get a lot of those on the air because we don't have a lot of them. You know, I heard Jim Lee's busy doing something.
Jim keeps the books he signs. It's ridiculous.
So Suicide Squad #1, signed by Jim Lee. We have one available, suggested retail of $299.99. We have one tonight for $198.70 to commemorate 1987 when the John Ostrander version of Suicide Squad launched. So we have that available. We don't generally have a lot of Jim Lee stuff that we put up because we just don't have a lot of Jim Lee stuff.
If you go into stores, and, you know, Alex has probably seen this too. If you go to trade shows, if you go to stores, you don't see the stuff, all the Jim Lee stuff you saw like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
10 years
Not
ago.
much.
You would go into stores and there was, you know, Image's heyday, everything is getting signed, T-shirts, everybody's happy. You stroll into a comic book shop now, even before the pandemic or any of this other stuff, the Jim Lee stuff was few and far between. You know, he'd sign an action figure of Batman, and suddenly that action figure was $900.
Yeah.
And I think he sort of, plus, you know, Jim Lee, you know, one of the guys who runs DC pretty much, and, you know, he's got like a million things, plus he's just Jim Lee. I can see where that guy doesn't have time to sign a ton of stuff. In his own interviews, he talks about he loves to do cons.
Right.
He loves to meet with fans. He wishes he had the time to do a little sketch with every book. The reality is there's only so many, you know, there's only so many hours in a day. And, you know, if you can get a signature from something with Jim Lee's signature on it, you know, that's a win.
Well, we have here tonight $198.70. Flush Jackson in the house. Hey, buddy. Dwayne's a pain in the house as well. Thanks for joining us, guys. So
Yeah, we appreciate when everyone.
yeah,
So
I mean,
we really do.
we
have a
really
lot of
do.
fun
I
here,
mean,
but-
yeah, I know. We try to, you know, we try to recreate that local comic book shop experience, if you will. We could potentially talk about anything, as AR knows as well.
Oh yeah.
But we appreciate all our viewers. We appreciate you guys joining us.
Check out AR as well.
Yes, please check
we
out
talk,
AR's
we have
YouTube
these
channel.
guests so that someone actually knows what they're talking about.
Yeah, I know, right?
We get Robbie on Monday, we get AR on Wednesday. So, we have some sort of basis for, are you guys just making that up? Yeah, mostly we're making it up. But,
most of the stuff John
these
and I
guys
talk about, we
sort
make
of,
up.
They put into perspective a lot of what's happening, the content, the trends. Maybe at some point, if we could throw up the link to his show, that would be really cool. And
Yeah,
people can
please check out AR's YouTube channel. Some great content there.
Yeah.
He's always putting stuff up every week, and it's great stuff. And Neil, thank you, buddy. I will definitely shoot you an email tomorrow, bro.
Speaking of emails, if there's something you want to see, email Rex.
Yeah.
And we can't guarantee everything. He's not Santa. He can't fill out everybody's list. But if we'll
do our best.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it.
We'll do our best.
Have it. And then we'll put it on the show at some point. Fans of the $6 Million Man upcoming show. We're gonna have a very cool little thing for the $6 Million Man.
Yeah, those books are still sitting on my desk.
I know they're still sitting on your desk. Today was not a good day because we had a huge new comic book
we
day,
did.
but
Really
when we have a day where it's not quite so much, we're going to put that out there.
All right, so we got to go to our next break. When we come back, we'll start off with the statue. I know Ron's been waiting on it. And stay with us. We'll be back in a few minutes.
I'm Thomas Munn with Blue Juice Comics, and you're watching The Experience.
Yeah, and John's walking around picking stuff up.
Oh, he's finding more books.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh, he's back.
Where's the statue?
The statue.
It's in your vehicle. I saw you walk off with it.
No, you can't get it. That's one thing he can't get it under his shirt, or he has to wear bigger shirts.
I have to wear a bigger shirt. I don't know if they make shirts bigger than the one I'm wearing now.
All right, so the statue tonight, we have the Betty Paige, Terry Dodson's Betty Paige statue based on Terry Dodson art, the black and white edition. Suggested retail of $249.99, and it is going to be one of our best offer items of the night, and best offer starting at $25. And when Kyle gets a chance, he will throw the image of the statue up for us.
I don't have an image, fellas.
You don't have an image, Amy? Does he not have an image? Is Amy there?
She's just hiding.
Everyone's gone.
All right, then we will have to pull that out, unfortunately.
Where do we have?
Found it.
There we go.
I was spelling Betty wrong.
Okay, no worries. Here we go. All right, so it is a Betty Page statue, Betty
sweet.
Page Cherry Dodson statue, black and white edition, for $249.99. Best offers takes it at the end of the night, and we already got Adrian in at 40.
You know
I
who
didn't get
has
it
one
wrong
of
this time, right, Adrian?
You know who has one of these?
What?
I have one of these. I love the black and white statues.
So I was wrong, AR. Somehow he did manage to.
I was
sneak it
gonna
out of the
say, I
building
told
without
you
my
it.
knowing.
It is his.
No, that's not mine.
So, hey, Lefty, unfortunately, Adrian has already made an offer of 40. So anything higher than 40 at this point, buddy. So we have that available tonight too. And at $7.55, best offer, we'll take it. What do you guys want to do next?
I don't think we've seen a slab yet.
No, we haven't.
I was going to say,
That's a
we
good
haven't
point.
seen a slab yet.
That's a good point. Let's do a slab. Pick one.
Spider-Woman number 5. Look at the cover.
All right. Spider-Woman number 5, Legacy number 100. Peach Momoko variant, CGC graded, guaranteed 9.8.
We talked about her on Monday. She's another one of these people, almost like James Tynion in the fourth. Everything I touch turns to gold. You know what I mean?
How it's going with her?
Do a cover, and it's just,
So suggested retail of $89.99, but tonight we have it for $77 to commemorate 1977 when Spider-Woman first appeared. So that is available and guaranteed 9.8. I know AR and I talked about it yesterday on his show, just about, CGC and everything else. Is Amy back or not? Amy?
Yes.
Oh, can you find out the dimensions on the statue for us, please?
It's 7.5 by 2 3/4 or something.
Are you sure? Or are you just guessing?
I'm sure.
That face you're giving me
He sure
like,
is guessing.
Totally, I'm
I'm
guessing.
totally guessing.
So, Ron, hold on a bit. Amy's going to look it up so we're not listening to John's guesses. Okay, like it's The Price is Right or something. So we were talking a little bit about CGC and stuff, and just about graded books in general, or grading in general, and how it kind of evolved and stuff. And some people have a negative opinion, some people have a positive opinion, some people are kind of ambivalent. I think what it did, whether it be sports cards or comic books or whatever, I think what the grading system did, when they slabbed and graded things, is it made just the commerce of collectibles a little bit easier. Because I think one of the things that happened before slabbing and grading came about was you go to a con, you go to whatever, you go to a dealer, and you're sitting there haggling about the grade. So now when
It's fine. It's very fine.
No, it's fine.
Not.
It's very
It's
fine.
fine.
So I think what they did was they took that out of the equation. So yeah, you can haggle about price. Well, it's worth this. It's worth that. But at least it took that level out of it. Where
anytime you try to put a definitive quality on anything, and I know this from competing in food competitions and later in life judging food competitions, when you try to qualify something by saying this meatball sandwich is better than this meatball sandwich, you gain something and you lose something. And I always think of that in terms of CGC, right? They tried their best. Like when we're judging a food competition, barbecue, whatever, we try to make the best decision we can based on what we're given, right? Now, CGC is slightly different, but they have their standards and their criteria, right? Now, if you don't agree with those standards and criteria, don't send them the book.
Right.
My understanding is...
Yeah, 5.5 by 9.5 by 4.7. So there you go,
I wasn't
Ron.
not close at all.
No, you weren't.
I think, and CGC, if you go to their website, there's a whole thing about how they grade books. It's not like some arcane process. They tell you what constitutes what sort of grade, right? They're putting it out there, their Facebook page, whatever. So it's almost like, well, if you know the rules going into the game and then you don't like the result, well, sure, they bear some responsibility because they're, but so do you. If you know that if there's faded pages, and that means that book is never going to be a 9, no matter what you do to it, and you're upset the book isn't a 9.
Well, I think what it did was it standardized that portion of it.
Yes.
And again, it made, if you wanted to trade or sell it, it made the standards a little bit more clear cut.
No, I agree.
So I mean, I know that there are many. I remember when the whole concept of grading, and it started with trading cards. When that whole thing came, there was such pushback. I mean, the hobby was just up in arms, and this is a waste of money, and this is crap, and all this other stuff. And I guess that it's not, because if a value on a graded and slabbed comic is going to net you more than a raw comic, then it says it has a purpose. It's there for a reason, and it does standardize things, and then the market believes that, well, yeah, having a third party grade it and tell us that this is what they see as the grade, and I mentioned this with AR, and it doesn't really matter. Then you have the argument, because as soon as the grading thing happened, slabbing and grading thing happened, then people went out there and said, well, this company's 9 is not like this company's 9.
Yep.
And again, it doesn't matter, because the market has adjusted to that. So
the market sets the value.
Yes.
I could pick up this comic book that.
Be careful.
Let's see who signed this. This is signed by Mark Morales, right? And this is a comic from a few years ago. I could very easily look at this comic and say, it's old and somebody wrote on it. I'll give you 50 cents for it. If everybody who reading it said that, it would be valueless. But because it's a signed book by Mark Morales, it's issue number 1 of the New Avengers run, of the Jason Aaron run, which most people agree, the Avengers hasn't been this good in a long time. The accepted market value is significantly higher. All the slabbing does is sort of cement that,
right,
a little bit. Everybody, look, let's be honest. All of us watching here, following, adding to the chat, most of us have sent books to be graded and have had the same story of one came back better than you thought, one came back worse than you thought, and most of them came back at about exactly how you thought. To me, that's a benchmark of consistency.
Right. Well, AR, I know you have some thoughts on this. Emmy Comics in the house. What's going on, Emmy?
I was going to say, the problem is that, the person grading it, one person could think it's a 9 and the other person could think it's a 9.2, 9.4. It all comes down to an opinion. So I'm going to be honest. Every time I've sent something in, and I talk about it all the time too with CBCS, is they still have all of my books. It's coming up on, I think, a little over 6 months now.
Wow.
Those books are all books I'm looking to sell. Like, that's the purpose of it. If, I send in books like, like Ken Hazer's artwork, like artwork books like that, then, the whole grading doesn't really matter to me. Like, that's now my possession. I got it slabbed because I'm trying to preserve it. So I don't know. One of those things,
I agree with what you're saying. I mean, and unfortunately, you bring up a good point, is that, they have become a victim of everything that's been happening over the last 18 months, 2 years. That's affected almost every industry under the sun. I just heard, this was very tragic.
Has gone untouched.
That the price of beef is going up.
It all is.
Bacon's up by like 40%. That makes me cry a little bit.
I'll
on
tell
the
you
inside.
what the flip side of this is, though. Beef in particular, we get a lot of beef from South America.
I did not know that.
I didn't
Only
either.
Somebody from the food industry would know stuff
A
like this.
significant amount of beef from this country comes from South America. And I'll tell you what this will do. This will get ranchers and farmers back in the game. There are chicken farms all through PA that, they closed because you had Walmart doing chicken for a penny a pound down in Arkansas and their massive fowlery or whatever. Well, you know what? Walmart doesn't have as many truck drivers as they used to. Walmart doesn't have as many workers in the chicken processing fence. So you know what that means? Less chicken is getting out to different parts of the country.
Right.
Chicken are fairly easy to raise. So you see chicken farms in South Jersey. You see chicken farms across Pennsylvania into upstate New York, up into Connecticut. people are start realizing, you know what? Local is better anyway. The further your food has to travel, the less time your food has traveling, the better it is when you eat it.
Facts.
All right. So I'm going to take a 2-second break. So Adrian, you're going to claim $42. And listen, ultimately we're here and I have a great time with John and AR and on Mondays with Robbie, but you want to claim 42, but you're the high claim at 40. See, so I want to sell stuff on this show, but
you missed a $40.
I'm not going to put 42
Rex.
down, Adrian, because you're still the lead at 40.
You had missed a $41 claim, Rex.
What's that?
You had missed a $41 claim.
Oh, I'm sorry. Who claimed 41?
Dave had it at 41 for about 7 seconds.
That's because Dave's always like busting on us, so I'm starting to ignore Dave's chat.
Just long enough for me to type
Don't
Dave
treat it like
into
my email.
graphic.
So all right, hold on. So Dave was 41 and Adrian is at 40. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Kyle. I did miss that. So 42. Okay. So he wasn't kidding. Adrian's going to fight for it. You're right, Dave. I'm going to have to go in the other room and pull out the big screen. We just haven't got set up yet. Believe me.
I'm excited for it.
Dave. I
when you get
can't
the
see
new
the
setup.
screen at all. And my vision's getting worse. But at least Amy's printing them no longer in that little itty bitty encyclopedia type.
I don't even look at it anymore. It's funny.
You
when
never
I see
looked
that,
at it. Stop. You never look at it. You just waltz in here and just start touching stuff. You do.
Superstar, baby.
Hey, listen, I'm still. Oh, all right. So Dave's now going to 43.
There we go.
Yeah. So John took his wife to a nice little lunch down in a town close to us, 43, and then Adrian's up to 44.
They're going back and forth.
So in a nice little town not too far from here, Morristown, they were sitting outside a nice little Italian restaurant that's right there on Main Street. And notice, nothing for me yet again.
What were you doing when we went to lunch?
I'm sorry. Let me check my phone. Did I miss a call from you, a text or something? No, I don't think so.
You might have.
No, I don't think so. Nice try, buddy. Somebody offers to get me good food. I don't miss those.
I rang the office phone. It doesn't ring anymore.
Oh, nice try, Allie.
John,
Nice
they screen the calls now.
Yes.
They screen it for you.
But no,
Nick said he let you go out to lunch last year. That didn't work out.
All right. So while Adrian and Dave are oh wait, Adrian's up to 40. Oh, I have that. Okay.
And we need a scoreboard.
Yeah, we need a scoreboard.
We do
right?
need a scoreboard if we're going to do these.
We need like a chalkboard. Yeah, right. So Nick mentions, if you're new to the show or if you're a regular, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. It really helps us out.
The video.
Yeah, that would
set
be
your
awesome.
notification bell so you know when we're coming on.
So Dave is at 45. Sorry.
And I'll tell you what else I would ask people to do. Go to Dynamite's YouTube channel and subscribe to that, because all jokes aside, I do kind of go into Nick's office way too much. But we have been talking about cool stuff that's going to be coming up there. You know what I mean? There's going to be more. We've been doing some videos about upcoming stuff, but there's going to be a lot more stuff that's going to be on there. And I would recommend that people check that out, subscribe, and,
Yeah, and check out the Dynamite YouTube channel.
Yeah, we got some stuff there.
That's where you're going to get the latest announcements. We'll eventually get to it here on the show. But
yeah, I was going to say, that's where you're going to find out, because people are like, oh.
But our attention span is rather small. I'm just saying, not AR, me and John. So that's why we bring AR on to kind of balance it out a little bit. But
guys, our bosses are talking, and our bosses are the customers. And they're saying, "Can you get them more books?"
Well, it's Dave's fault because between him and Adrian bidding like $1 up on the thing, I got to stop and record it.
Who made coffee?
I made coffee.
It smells good.
It does smell good. That's why I love coffee. Well, then I'm not going to stop you, Dave. Go ahead, keep bidding.
Pick another book.
All right, so Adrian has put it a nice way. He says, let's put another book up so he can snipe Dave. So nice. Adrian is up to 46. I'm running out of paper.
I'm running out of paper.
Yeah, right. So
supply chain issues. We have no paper.
So let's do Web of Venom. Carnage Born #1, signed by Donny Cates.
Such a cool cover too.
It is. It is a very cool cover. Suggested retail of $59.99, and we have one available tonight for $29.99. So, and I know Kyle will throw that up in about a second.
It's a really good read as well, if anyone's ever read it.
Yeah, it is a good read. And Dave goes, Adrian Montanez, good strategy.
I'll tell you what we need to do next. We need to do another Slabbed book.
Yes, we do. Let's get the, let's see here, Web of Venom up there. Do you have it? Web of Venom. Where is it? It's got to be here somewhere.
Oh, right here. Web of Venom.
There we go. Look at that cover. That is awesome.
Do we have an image? Maybe we don't hear. Hold this.
No.
Do we have an image for it?
We should. I'm sure Kyle will throw it up there in a second. All right, but it is
trying.
fun.
I'm having some technical issues, fellas.
No worries.
You holding it up. Give me just a second.
Yep, no problem.
No
So there it is. Adrian, we're having some technical difficulties. I've always wanted to say that. So give Kyle a minute and he'll get the image up, but it is hand signed by Donny Cates. It is limited to a series of 80 copies.
Cool.
Let me see here. Written by Donny Cates, art by Danilo Baruth, cover by Kyle Holtz. And we have one tonight available at that price. So as soon as Kyle can, he will get that picture up.
And the entire sort of Venom Carnage thing, King in Black, this thing, at least for a year, this has been Marvel's overarching story.
Right.
Yeah.
For the most part, right?
It's been tied in with everything
one sort
too.
of leads into the other. These are books too that, eventually we'll probably get. We just had a Venom movie. They've talked about a short turnaround time for, another picture. I think Sony, based on Marvel Studios' success, is really motivated if they can get their COVID protocol controls in place. Let's get these movies busted out. Let's get these Spider-Man movies made.
Right.
Tom Hardy is pushing very hard for a Spider-Man Venom movie. He says it on every sort of interview he does.
What's funny is that I actually saw that movie on a plane ride, the Venom movie. So unfortunately, and I never did get a chance to see it because when you watch
the first one or the second one?
The first one. So I haven't seen the second one yet. But the first one, it's just weird when you see it on a plane. They edit out a lot of stuff because they can't really show in our movie.
Plus the experience.
I didn't know that.
Just
yeah,
it's
they
like
do.
I'm watching it on my phone.
Well, dude,
And that's not the ideal way to watch your
I was
first.
flying to Asia to visit my parents, dude. 16 hours is a long time. I'll watch almost anything at the end. Okay. I mean, I'll watch subtitled this or that. I don't care what it is. Okay. I watched. I probably watched one of the FF movies if I'm trapped in that cigar tube.
You know what?
All right, now you're pushing it.
I got to draw the line somewhere.
Hey, it's a really long time, 16 hours, boys. Okay, think about a flight to California, 6. Now, plus 10.
I don't even like the fly to Pennsylvania. That's only 3.5 hours. I don't even like that.
I tell you, it's funny. All right, so Ronald is claiming the Web of Venom. Gotcha, Ron.
Bang, done.
All right, so that's out of here. That is out of here. All right, so let's change speeds a little bit. So we have Life with Archie comic number 36, first printing signed by Michael and Laura Allred. Suggested retail of $29.99, and tonight we have it for $19.41. The year Archie first appeared. So that's available. That is a buy it now claim of the night, and then after that one, we'll go to another best art book.
It's crazy about the Archie series. I have no knowledge of Archie. I've never read anything. And me and my girlfriend were looking for something to watch and ran across Riverdale, and I put that on. And, the character's name is like Archie, Betty, Veronica, Jughead. And I watched like 3 episodes, and all of a sudden I'm like, holy crap, this is like the comic book. I don't know if it's based on it at all, but it all started
clicking. Very
clicking.
loosely based on it.
So 62 Lefty says Venom was rated PG-13. You are correct. But they'll bleep out on a plane. They'll bleep out like language and stuff, and it depends on the airline too. So I usually fly one of the Asian airlines because, to be quite honest with you, the service is better. Okay, the food is better. They treat you nice when you get on the plane?
Oh, when I go to Canada, people are like, "Why are you flying a Canadian flight?" I'm like, "I'll tell you exactly why I'm flying a Canadian flight. My croque monsieur is infinitely better than the terrible chicken sandwich you were going to give me, and the flight crew was really polite."
So I usually my daughter and I usually fly Eva Air, which is known as the Hello Kitty airline. They actually have. I kid you not. They actually have, but that one that's like a 777. No, not 777. I want to say it's a 767 that flies the Asia route, and that thing from the livery on the outside of the plane to the inside is all Hello Kitty.
Like bright pink and stuff. And
everything. Okay. That for 16 hours would make you kill yourself.
I give people credit who I can't, man. I don't enjoy flying that much.
Well, there's no other way to get there. You know, they don't even have. They used to. My mom, when she emigrated over from Hong Kong, she actually got on a ship. Took a month.
See, I'd be fine with that.
Took a month.
I'm okay. I'm fine.
No.
30 days.
I'll go to work when I get back.
I don't think I could do that either.
Well, I mean, 30 days on a ship, dude, that's a long time. All right, so Dave is up to 47 on the statue.
Nice.
All right, and these guys are making me write all this down.
I love the statue.
All right, so Dave, you are in the lead now at 47. White Tiger joining us. Hey, buddy, thanks for joining us tonight.
Love that character. That's one of those Marvel characters I would like to see more of. In the 70s, it was really cool. Then they brought it back like the 2010s.
Right.
And I just don't think they knew what to do with the character. You know what I mean? I would love to see a lot of these 70s characters are getting a lot of love. Moon Knight, Ghost Rider,
Right.
Morbius, the Living Vampire. They're getting pushed in comics. They're being put in different animated series. I would love to see something done with White Tiger.
All right, so let's see. What else we got here?
It's very 70s kung fu. You know, there's like the mystic amulet. The person puts it on. They're Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah, it really does have that flair. You're right.
It's very much sort of
when all of a sudden martial arts got hot.
DC had one too. They had one that was like Richard Dragon Kung Fu Fighter or something.
It was an interesting era, you know. So we'll get to that in a second. But let's do our next best offer.
I wish we had a Peter Cannon book. That would be perfect.
So legendary number 3, high-end Joe Benitez Virgin Art ultra limited edition cover. Suggested retail of $100. So this is our another one of our best offer takes it. So best offer at $7.55, we'll take it, and the offers will start at $10. So this is a $100 book with an offer starting at $10. So anybody that wants to put a competing claim on that, let us know, and we'll put you in.
You know who the characters are on the cover of that book? Legendary is probably my favorite thing Dynamite has done. If I had to pick one thing, it would probably.
Does it get better than Joe Benitez doing that cover, Mr. Lady Mechanica, especially with Lady Mechanica coming back?
I'm looking
at that coffee smells good, and I don't like coffee.
I was going to say it to you,
dude. We have a Keurig machine in the kitchen.
That's
you
not
can
coffee.
Make your own cup. That's what this is. Don't be a coffee snob tonight, man.
Do I need to bring in a heating element and a mocha pot to make
Bring
espresso?
anything. Bring anything. A sandwich. A slice of Cooper cheese.
I think he's
just
saying
bring something.
Just bring a slice of cheese.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about all this coffee, and I never see any.
Covers?
I see pictures of sandwiches and what you're eating for lunch. I never get any.
Oh, no.
Sure, bring a hot plate. Bring whatever you got.
Calendar. This is the day he snapped.
Send the taco truck out here. My gosh, man.
The characters on the cover of this are
Albert in the house. What's going on, Albert? Thanks for joining us.
Left to right, as I'm looking at it, the characters are the $6,000 man,
Vampirella, the
Captain Victory from the Kirby verse. And I got to tell you, Legendary is Dynamite's done a lot of really cool stuff. Obviously, after all these years, I keep reading the books. But Legendary, Bill Willingham.
So Kyle says John is going to show up next week with a Kraft American single. Don't say I never brought you anything. Kyle, that is completely untrue. You know why? Because John is such a snob about food.
Yeah.
He would never be caught dead with a
cheese.
Kraft American single that is individually wrapped.
That's not cheese. That's cheese processed food. No.
They actually call that cheese food. Yeah, they don't even call it cheap.
That's
And
why.
he's doing something weird next week. I've never heard of this, but he's going on something called a vacation. I have no idea what that is.
I'll be scouting new talent for Dynamite.
I'm going to be really, really, really pissed if I see like the turkey, the dressing. Don't even post it, bro. Don't even post it. Don't even post it.
Oh, he will.
Because I will not be a happy man.
Yeah, big upgrade next week. I guess you guys will be here with Amy. Amy will be in this chair, so things will be significantly better.
Amy at least
Great,
offers,
Mariana.
when she orders out. You, John.
What do you
nothing.
say? Mariano's going to be here next week? Finally, the premiere we've been waiting for? Mariano
Yeah,
Cieza?
unfortunately, he'll be tied to the chair and probably gagged, so that won't be a good look for us.
Yeah, there's many things. Mariano's a man of many talents. Wanting to do this show? Nope.
He ran out during a tornado warning to avoid being on with
Took
me and
his
John.
chances with Mother Nature rather than do this show.
Yes. Literally, our phones were going off every half second, and
Remember
there's
that night?
Mariano running out. We're like, there's a tornado warning. Where's he going?
Like every 8 minutes, our phones would chirp. Dude, there's really a tornado coming. You guys have to take cover. He
Yeah, they were
grabbed his
playing that night.
backpack and shed it.
He was out of here. He wanted nothing to do with us.
Didn't that night get like actually really dangerous? Like there was a lot of destruction from that night, like for real.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're
That
absolutely-
shows how
Oh,
much
yeah.
Mariano doesn't want to do this show.
Yes. Yes. I was waiting for a funnel cloud to like just whip him up like Wizard of Oz, and he
There's a
disappeared.
restaurant like 5 minutes from here.
Yeah.
They had an addition put on. That entire roof is gone. This is just like a
That's
big
nice.
outdoor porch again.
It's
They
been,
they haven't reopened. And that
It's
was
been
like
really
2
weird.
months ago, 3
Yeah,
months
I
ago.
know.
They
It's
never
been-
reopened.
We've had some horrendous weather. I mean, here in the Northeast. I mean, I guess everywhere in the country. I mean, California never gets rain, and then suddenly, 10 inches fall in like a 24-hour
Rain,
period or something
fire,
like
and
that?
then we had Texas with a blackout.
Yeah.
It hasn't been the best. It's been a
It
little bit
hasn't
of a
been,
rough
has
ride.
it? It's
And
been
they
a
had
rough couple of
ice.
years. Say again?
Texas had all that ice or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yes.
Last
They're
winter.
not used to like blizzardy type. That's not them.
Well, Nicholas in the house. Hey, buddy, thanks for joining us. We were just kind of talking about this. You were talking about the beef shortage, and it started with CGC or the slabbing companies, and difficulties businesses have faced in this last 24 months. And I think what's becoming apparent is our infrastructure is getting old.
Yeah, we got to
It's-
start rethinking about how we do sometimes. The chin like a lot of businesses, and they could really use your support. I mean, we try to recreate the LCS vibe here, but there is nothing like going to your local comic book store, grabbing your pull list, having that FaceTime, interacting with fans,
Yep.
people who love your books, people who hate your books. Some of the best conversations I've ever had in an LCS is someone who hates what I'm reading. Like, why are you reading that? And I'm like, why are you not reading that? And the conversation goes from there.
Yeah, I think that's some of why we do what we do is to help promote the industry as a whole, and then help out these local comic book shops. And again, boy, we do a lot of talking, don't we? So we got to go to our last and final break.
We got to break again?
Yes, we do. It's 7:30.
You better sell some books, dude.
I better sell. And this will be Rex and the AR show very, very soon. All right. So we're going to go to our final break. We'll be back in a few minutes. Stay with us.
To be continued. 3 little words that hold the secret to the next great story. 3 words that will thrill you, confound you, give life to new possibilities. Every variation of To Be Continued is a promise of adventure, a promise of excitement, a promise of unseen wonders and unexplored worlds. A promise that every issue you read makes you a part of a never-ending journey, and behind every page there will be an unopened door waiting for you. This story to be continued at your local comic book shop today. Visit comicshoplocator.com today.
All right. Hi, I'm Travis, King of Source Point, and you're watching The Experience.
And we're back.
What's up?
Hi, this is John and Rex, and you're watching The Experience. Why are these other people doing that when we're way more popular than they are?
I don't know if we're way more popular than they are. I'm just saying. I'm just being honest. So, all right. So we're going to do a real quick recap to start off the last half hour. So,
Hi, I'm AR, and I have the misfortune of doing a show with these two.
I enjoy it. I love coming on.
We can't wait until you're back in the area and we can actually do this live.
Oh my God!
That's the one at the
funny.
brewery. You better start calling your friends.
Hey, they're
gotta
open.
hook it
I
up.
know they're out.
Let's hook it up, man. Over a few beers. Who knows where the show's going to go in 2 hours? All right. So Dynamite.
Apparently not far with you two.
Oh, we're going to the brewery, Nick. You can come with us, but we're going. Dynamite 10-pack reader set, and Nick's paying too. Dynamite 10-pack reader set.
You better be selling way more books.
Suggested retail of $40. So there'll be 10 random
A,
books.
Nick pays every day. B, in more ways than one. But yes, I'll buy the beer.
World small smile and all right, here we go. So Dynamite 10-pack, 10 random Dynamite titles. Suggested retail of $40. So it'll have a cover price of $3.99 or higher, and we have it on every show to try and new readers start up a quick collection, and we'll have it for $5, so 50 cents a book.
You get these books way cheaper than I did. I got to think that's
You got
pretty
them
cool.
for free. You're sneaking
No, I
them out
didn't
of
always
your
get them
shit.
for free.
Well,
In the beginning, I had to slog through terrible runs from unqualified writers.
oh, now
but
you're going
I
to tell us
signed
about it. You had
on
to
there.
walk miles in a snowstorm to get these books. So next up, Web of Venom was claimed by Ron. We still have Life with Archie comic number 36, first printing signed by Michael and Laura Allred. Suggested retail of $29.99. We have it for $19.41.
Speaking of Archie, Riverside, which AR mentioned, they're going to have a new cast member next year. And it's going to be Sabrina from the Netflix show. I don't know if we're going to work that out, but they announced it. Kiernan Shipka is her name. And, Chilling Adventures of Sabrina is somehow bombing into Riverdale, which, I mean, I guess makes sense because all these kids are Greendale is right next to Riverdale. But, I really didn't expect that. But
have you seen that show? The Sabrina show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
I love that show.
Really?
I kind of have like a little bit of a sort of I watched it with my goddaughter, and it was sort of getting her into this sort of stuff. And now she's like a huge fan. She's like a huge comics nerd. So I feel like I've done my part for the next generation.
Are there 3 seasons or 4 seasons?
I think they have a season that's broken in half, like an extended season or something. I think it's 4 seasons.
It stayed consistent though, like just overall good.
Yeah, I mean, I recommend it to anybody. I mean, if you like the genre, I mean, and I'll tell you this right now, we always talk about shows, kind of how far they drift from the source material, the comic, right? If you actually read some of that Sabrina stuff way back then, they do a really good job of sort of, dragging these characters from the 60s and 70s, which people have almost sort of forgotten about, like Madam Satan. The cast is really good in terms of having the actors look the way they do in the comic. Sabrina doesn't get the respect it deserves from the comics community. Let's be honest. There's stuff that they do which is spot on. There's stuff that they do and we're like, not really. It's not great. It's not perfect. Sabrina is really good in terms of connecting that to the books they did in the 70s.
So we have Life with Archie available for $19.41 tonight. Then we had the Suicide Squad number 1 signed by Jim Lee, and we don't have we don't usually bring a lot of Jim Lee signed books on, only because we
don't
really
have any or many.
So suggested retail of $299.99. We have it tonight for $198.70. Invaders Now, #1, a DF variant cover signed by John Romita Sr.
This is like the real plum of the night sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. We have that for $499.99. But we have a payment plan, 20% down, and the rest within 60 days. Then we had the Green Hornet, which was claimed by Nico Little Dragon. We had Justice Inc., which was one of our best offer books, and currently Ron is in the lead at 35. We have Legendary #3, high-end Joe Benitez Virgin Art Ultra Limited Edition cover, suggested retail of $100, and also one of our best offer books of the night, with claims starting at $10, and there are no claims currently on that one. Then we had the Mickey Mouse, which was claimed by T-Pain. We still have Alien #1, black blank variant signed and remarked by Ken Hazer. And this is something else to look at.
I might have that one up.
And we have one available at $89.99. We still have the Owl #2 high-end Alex Ross Virgin Art limited edition, ultra limited edition cover. Suggested retail of $100, and that is one of our perfect 10 reads at $10, and that is a claim it now. So Nico Little Dragon, let's see. Are you talking about the Owl #2, Nico? Just to be clear.
Such a nice book.
Or are you talking about, no, you're talking about Justice Inc., right? 36. Okay, so Nico is at 36 for that. So he is the high offer so far of the night. Let's see, where did I leave off? So Alien #1, the Owl #2 is still available, high-end Alex Ross. That is a claim it now at $10. Then we have Spider-Woman #5, Legacy #100, Peach Momoko variant, CGC graded, guaranteed 9.8. And we have that for $77 tonight. And then we have the Betty Page Terry Dodson statue, black and white edition, suggested retail of $249.99. That is also best offer takes it at the end of the night. And currently, Dave is in the lead at $47. So Adrian, if you want to jump in on that, still available. So, all right, what should we do next, boys?
The Star Wars slab.
Oh, okay, let's do.
I
Star
gotta
Wars.
believe there's someone in the chat room that's been waiting for that all night.
All right, so we have Star Wars #3, the action figure variant. I believe this one that we have is Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah,
cool.
CGC
cool.
graded, guaranteed 9.6, and that is very cool. I remember buying that action figure when it came out. As a matter of fact, way back in the day.
We had Dynamite have Battlestar Galactica with us.
So Adrian, 50, you're up to 50 on the statue, right? So let me write that down. Adrian is up to $50 on the statue, and that puts you as the high claim until Dave went and did that, and he's now at 51. So that makes Dave the high claim.
Well, the statue is very cool.
It is.
This is literally a statue I have in my house.
I know, but it's all this writing, you know.
Why don't you get yourself a bigger pad?
You're not being very helpful. Okay. And Ron is bidding 40 on the Justice Inc. All right. Hold on. Let me get that down for you, buddy. So Ron is now the high claim at $40 on the Justice Inc. signed by Alex Ross. And Ronald says he's bowing to peer pressure. Adrian is now at 55 on the statue.
Wow.
So that makes him the high offer. He said he was going to fight for this one. He wasn't kidding.
It's a gorgeous statue.
And Flush Jackson says he remembers the original Kenner Obi-Wan and his rad orange brown plastic cape. Yes, I remember too. And the lightsaber where you activated it was in his arm. Yeah, it was in his arm near the wrist.
I wonder if that's where they got the idea for Wolverine.
Probably. Why reinvent the wheel?
I was going to say, wait a minute. If the lightsaber can come out of his arm, so can these adamantium claws.
So we have the Star Wars still available. Star Wars #3 action figure variant, CGC graded 9.6. So, nice thing about the CGCs you get from us is, unlike sending it in, you know what you're getting. Okay, the great.
Yeah, we've already done all the heavy lifting. We've already done the packing, the boarding, this, that, sending you the CGC.
Well, John and I didn't actually.
Somebody
did though.
Somebody in the warehouse who actually does work for a living took care of that stuff. We should do the other slab.
Let's do the other slab. What is it?
Red Sonja, the superpowers. I love
that's a sweet cover too.
So Red Sonja, the Superpowers #2,
Joseph Michael Linsner cover.
Virgin cover, CGC graded 9.8, guaranteed 9.8. Suggested retail of $99.99, and we're doing it for $73 to commemorate 1973.
The year Red Sonja premiered.
So that is also available tonight.
That's a gorgeous cover. We have a bunch. This week we have some Linsner covers coming out too. Like I said, we were already off track enough and we've used up enough time. Go watch that video with Dynamite's YouTube channel and you'll see the different sort of Joseph Michael Linsner covers that we have this week for, some Universal, Vampirella, whatever. And
be sure to hit AR's channel as well. When you get a chance, Kyle, if you wouldn't mind throwing up those links, that would be awesome. AR has been nice enough to join us. Oh, yes, claims. Anybody that's new to the show, anything that you claim, throw it up on the chat. We've got it recorded. And then click on the QR code. And I know at some point Kyle will throw up a link as well. And fill out submission forms. So that gives us the ship to address, your real name, and all that good stuff. We'll get you invoiced and get your item out right away. And
hey guys, on YouTube, the QR code is obscured by the YouTube sign. So Kyle, can you move the QR code maybe to the left?
I can't, but that's good to know. I'll fix it for next week.
All right, awesome.
All right, so Dave is up to 56 on the statue. So these guys are going back and forth. That'll be interesting to see who takes it at the end of the night. And we're approaching is it 7:43? So what do we got? 12 minutes?
We have 12 minutes.
All right, 12 minutes before we close on the best offer. We did not.
Let's get to. I'm trying to think of the stuff that. I mean, some of the things we didn't get to tonight, we can get to another night. But I really kind of want people to the mega.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Amy, were you able to get up? There we go. There it is. Never mind. So we're bringing this back because they seem to be real popular. So this is one of our Marvel Deluxe Mega Mix set. So it includes a Symbiote Spider-Man #1, CGC graded, 9.8 guaranteed. Amazing Spider-Man #49, Legacy #850, sketch cover by Ken Hazer. Captain America White #1, signed by Jeff Loeb in silver. And then Thor the Worthy #1, signed by legendary Walt Simonson in silver. You'll get all those books for $99. So those have been real popular. So we're bringing that back, and we'll probably try to make one in every show. Just a little.
Well, people really, what seems to be popular are, and these are like the extremes of the price point, right? You've got like the $5 sampler pack,
right? And
then you've got like the $99 mega pack, which whatever you like, there's usually a signed book in there. There's usually a slab book in there. There's usually some kind of variant or chase book or key or something in there.
And we kind of touched on this, and then we went off on a tangent like we always do.
Us?
Yeah, I know, right? So hard to believe.
Speaking of tangents.
One of the big things that we want to do is bring more people into the hobby.
Yeah.
And get them started, whether it be with our $5 Dynamite 10-pack or the Mega Mix set, whatever the case may be. Get your collection off to a quick start. And then really the point of fact is to kind of get you to your local comic book shop. And, we talked about it, the price of beef and all the other supply chain issues. Not much John and I or AR can do about that stuff. But if we can help a local comic book shop,
that would be awesome.
So Ron's going to claim the mega pack. All right, Ron, got you down, buddy. So we may have a small influence on the comic book universe. And if we can drive and help these guys out, because even before the pandemic, you had that figure. How many of those? It was like a startling figure.
It was like a Google alert message I got in basically 20 years. I got this alert like in 2020. Half of the comic book stores in this country that were operating in 2000 are not operating now. Some have been sold, some have merged, some have moved. One I was really glad to see became like a mobile operation. I'm like, man, I wish I had the food trucks. I'd love it, like the comic book mobile. But they're just not there anymore.
Yeah.
They've given up their locations because, let's be honest, real estate overhead, this stuff is really expensive. When you get to a point where you have like Amazon selling comics, and I'm not one of these people that bashes Amazon, but when Amazon is selling comics, it's really hard for like Rex and John's comic book shop to turn a profit You know what I mean? You've got.
When did you guys open the comic shop?
As soon as you go home, sir.
Where do you think we get the inventory?
Inventory. Plus, perfect example. And Ming Chen said this on a podcast. They didn't realize it. The show Comic Book Men is very cool. I've been to Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash many times. A friend of mine and I have this tradition that we have lunch in Red Bank. We go every year, get cool stuff. But what they didn't realize was literally hundreds of people were reaching out to them saying, I don't want to go to my LCS. I want to get my books from you. And that's exactly what they weren't trying to do. They were trying to, Flanagan said it too. He's like, we were just trying to show people a little bit what our lives were like, a little bit what the comic book shop was like, in hopes that you would want to go back to the comic book shop. And unfortunately, people wanted to go to their comic book shop, like have stuff mailed and shipped or whatever, bought from their website. And that was not what they were trying to do.
So Kyle wants to know if you've been to the new location. And Dave says he's going to Rex and John's comic book shop opening day. Dave,
I'll be there.
Ironically enough, we opened it inside the brewery.
Inside the brewery.
So you can browse your comics and get a beer.
See, there's an idea in there somewhere.
I know, right? I know.
An idea there. And I'm trying to think where it was. Like Roxborough, PA, they had a comic book shop and a coffee shop for a while. And then I guess that didn't work out, so it became like a secondhand paperback.
Yeah. So actually, in all seriousness, Flush Jackson has posted something which I think has become a big problem. And he has to drive 50 miles for an LCS.
Yes.
Making it unrealistic. And we forget, in the Northeast, especially in New Jersey, which is, believe it or not, the densest state in the union, it's we see that there are less and less of them, but
there's still a ton of them. I can drive from 30 minutes and hit 4 different comic books.
We are in a very dense part of the country. So, I mean, end to end, I used to drive, now I live in the same town, but I used to drive maybe 6 to 8 miles to work in West Berlin. Maybe a little bit more than that. Literally in the state of New Jersey, I would pass like 5 towns.
Yeah.
So we forget sometimes, like in the Midwest and stuff, where you are right now, AR, things are pretty spread apart.
Yeah. I have a friend who I talk to all the time. She lives in Texas with her husband. She drives an hour and 15 minutes one way to go pick up her pull list once a month. She loads it in the car. They do like a whole thing. They get their sodas, whatever, stop at Buc-ee's for all the gas and whatever, and then they drive. And she's like she's like a lifelong comic book fan. She's from this part of the country. She's from upstate New York. She was used to there being a comic book shop down on the street. And now to get her books, to kind of get her LCS fix, it's a 75-minute one-way drive.
It's and that's probably one of the real, I guess, consequences of all of these LCSs closing. Yeah. So, again, I think that the LCSs have to kind of change their model, do a little bit more online, a little bit more from a mail order standpoint. But again, my fear is, and again, I'm not an Amazon basher, just as you said, I tons of stuff, Kindle, all the stuff that I get from them.
Yeah.
But the problem is that it's kind of like, and I've used this analogy before, it's kind of like the hardware store. When I was young, you go to a hardware store, it was a local shop in the neighborhood.
You knew the guy who ran it.
You knew the guy who ran it, and you would talk to him, well, I'm doing this in my bathroom, I'm doing this in my kitchen. Now you go to Lowe's and say I need, a box of nuts and bolts, and nobody can find it because, there are toilets, there's 2x4s, there's
one of the I don't know if it's King of the Hill, one of them has Home Labyrinth.
Yeah.
And that's sort of like their take on a Home Depot or Lowe's. And that's exactly what it's like. You walk in there and it's essentially like a football stadium covered, like a football field, just covered with stuff. And it's an aisle 23, shelf 16, bin FK. And I'm like, come on, man.
So the fear that I have is that once companies like Amazon, start to take over this, then what happens? What happens to the industry as a whole? And that's something that...
Well, they have to come with us. Maybe we're looking at this the wrong way.
Then we open up our comic shop
We
in the
open our
brewery,
comic book shop.
and everybody's standing in line to get in.
You know?
Comic books and beer.
Brewery. Hey, everybody.
Say that again, AR.
Comic books and beer.
There you go.
Oh,
And food. We got to have food too.
And the
That's where
food.
taco truck comes in if we ever see it.
I have
The
friends
taco
with
truck.
trucks.
So Flush Jackson says he still has Ace Hardware, but even that's a chain now. You know, it's not a local mom and pop. You know, although they're a lot smaller than a Home Depot or a Lowe's. But you know, so I
My
realize.
wife laughs at me when I go to True Value in Mount Laurel. She's like, "Oh God," she's like, "You're such a homer." And I'm like, "Have you been in a Home Depot?"
Yeah,
Like at my age and weight, I don't have the physical stamina to walk through the whole store.
for
I
a
need
package
one
of
that's-
nuts and bolts.
I need
it's
like a
just crazy.
scooter to do it, man. I'm like, you don't know.
Of course, Dave, we're going to have cheesesteaks. I mean, that's an assumption. We wouldn't name it Cheesesteak Comics. Everybody just assumed that they get the beer, they get their comics. There's going to be a cheesesteak somewhere in their future.
Man, I need a cheesesteak real bad. I'll tell you.
I wish
Been
I could
itching
say
for
the
one.
same, buddy. I just had one yesterday. So
Jealous.
with the fried onions and mushrooms.
There's a place that opened up on Warren Highway that's amazing.
Which one?
Lilio's.
Really?
They do Trent style pizza. They do really good roast pork sandwiches, which I had like 3 or 4 days ago.
It's not that tomato pie place.
Yeah,
is
it's
it?
a tomato pie
Okay,
place.
it's
and
that
they
place.
have really good cheesesteaks.
I passed it a few times. I got to stop because I love a good tomato pie. Those of you that don't know what a tomato pie is, okay, tomato pie is basically
Not completely a pizza. Not
completely a pizza.
It's not. It's a little bit different.
Yeah, it's kind of unique to the Northeast, I guess.
I think it's not
It
only
is.
Northeast. I think it's really unique to like the Trenton, Philly, South Jersey area. Oh, is this Nick going on again about selling books?
Something like that. I don't know. He's giving us a time check or something like that. I don't know. So, all right, what we'll do is we'll do a
Why don't we do
recap.
one more book?
All right,
We
let's
gotta
do
do
one more
one
book.
more book,
All right,
right?
let's do Avengers #1, signed
Yes.
by Mark Morales.
We read this earlier.
Suggested retail $29.99, and we have it tonight for $19.63.
The year the Avengers premiered.
All
This
right.
is the Jason Aaron
And
McGinnis
just
run.
so everybody knows, we have about 2 minutes left for the best claim, best offer of the night takes it.
what's the statue scoreboard?
I believe the statue scoreboard is Dave is in the lead
I think
at
it's 55.
$56.
56.
Pretty sure. So Dave is leading for the Betty Page Terry Dodson statue. Let's see. All right. So to do a quick recap, we had the Dynamite 10-pack. We for $5, 10 random Dynamite titles. Life with Archie #36, first printing, signed by Michael and Laura Allred, for $19.41. We just put up the Avengers #1, signed by Mark Morales. Suggested retail of $29.99. We have it for $19.63. We have Suicide Squad #1, signed by Jim Lee, for $198.70. We have Invaders Now, signed by John Romita Sr., $499.09. It is on a payment plan for 20% down, the rest within 30 days. Dave is now up to $58.
Yeah, we had a little back and forth. Adrian was
let's see.
57. Dave
Yep.
was 58.
So Dave is at 58. Okay. These
Dave
guys are
mentioned,
really
does
battling
Nick
it out.
know we skipped the Flash? I gotta be honest with you, Dave. I don't know how much Nick is into parting with Flash comic books. Especially this one. This is a red black
It'll be
variant.
on next show. All right. So Adrian is now up to 59. So, all right. These guys are going to battle it out to the last
Till
second.
the end. I'll tell you right now, whoever gets this statue is going to be super happy, man. This is like one of my
All right.
favorite things. that I
Out of respect for both Dave and Adrian, we're gonna go to the end of the show when we have to check out here. So Dave is now up to 60. All right. So I think the last few minutes are going to be Dave and
the Flash,
Adrian.
what's gone in the Flash? Nick,
Adrian is at 62.
Rex didn't even let me get anything out of that Flash.
No.
750.
Nope. I got Dave and Adrian in a war, and we're at 756. So we have to check out at 758, boys. So Dave is at 63. These guys are killing me.
Don't forget the 30-second lag.
And there's
Yeah,
a 30-second lag. And Adrian's at 64. I am literally running out of places to
Well,
write this.
what's the value of these statues, right? I mean,
Well, $249.99.
yeah, I was going to say we're already at like even whoever gets this right now, they're getting this at 60.
Dave is at 65. All right. Should we put a timer on this because we are at 7:56 and we got to check out in 2 minutes?
You should. If I were you,
Dave's
I'd
at
put a 30-second
65.
timer on it, and then
All right.
remember the 30-second lag.
Hold on. It may take me 30 seconds just to figure out how to do the timer. For real. Let's see. Don't laugh at me.
It's your clock function, and then stopwatch.
Oh, don't be smart. Act like you know stuff. Okay. All right. I got a 30-second clock, boys. All right. So Adrian is at 68. All right. 19 seconds, 18, 17.
69, nice.
Nice.
Dave is at 69.
AR jumps in, 75. Hit the
How funny would that be? Adrian's at 70. You got 4 seconds, boys. And that's it.
71. Dave's at 71.
Dave's at 71.
Wow. That was tough, man. Woo.
This makes me feel like
I was like ends of the seat there.
All right. All right. So we got to close it, guys. So, oh, man, Adrian's at 72. We're still on the air. What do I do here?
71 called it.
All right. So we're going to say 71 calls at Adrian. But shoot me an email.
They're still going.
Dave's at 73 now.
They're still going. Tell them that's the lag. That's what Nick was saying.
Yeah, I know there's a lag, guys. So, all right, we're going to call it for Dave. You surrender to Adrian, but you're the high offer. So, all right, so Adrian at 72 because Dave decided to very nicely give it to Adrian. So thank you very much, guys. Both Adrian and Dave for keeping it exciting and making me right. Look at this. I got stuff all over. It's on the back now. All right. So we got Adrian at 72. Takes the statue. Marcus, hey, what's going on? So Dave says he hogs all the statues. You do, Dave. You really do. But we love you for it, buddy. So once again, check out AR's channel on YouTube. Check out the Dynamite YouTube channel. Friday night, you'll have Nick and John on for original art on the Experience, 7 to 8 Eastern time. And we'll be back on Monday with Robbie and then back on Wednesday with AR. And I will be on AR show on Tuesday at 4 p.m.
Yes.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us. AR, thanks for sitting in.
Thank you for having me, as always.
Thanks for being in the center seat.
So what did you say, AR?
I said, as always, thank you for having me.
No, it's always a pleasure, buddy.
No, we
it's
love
always a
having you
pleasure.
on, man.
Thank you so much. Thanks to everybody
enjoy
watching
your comic
tonight.
book day.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll see you guys next week.